So this is going to be a first for me. I usually just work on my own tools, but my wife has a Dyson V8 handheld and she loves it. It's performed great. It's just got to the point where the batteries, it's not holding much of a charge anymore. This is not new at all. So what I've done is I've got it out here and I've ordered, as you can see from Amazon, some new stuff. And what it came with was another little filter that goes right there. And then here's the battery with the cap on it. They give you screws and they throw in a cheap little screwdriver. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to take this off and put the new one on. I will take out these filters are washable, just so you know. But I'm gonna take that out and I'll give that one to my wife. I'll put the new one in. And we've ordered a new one of these also. I took this out and I'll show you how to take it off in a second, but I just cleaned out the filter with my lovely air compressor. But let me show you how simple this is. As you can look, see the black dot there? It just has to align right there. So all you gotta do is just twist this like that and it comes off. And there you go. And you're like, well, it's clean. Yeah, I blew it out. So it's nice and clean. And to put it back on, you do the same thing. You just put it on the black and twist it and it snaps right into place. And I'll do that one after I replace the battery. So the battery, if we flip over, let's get this out of the way. This is how they shipped it, which is nice. So everything came in this box. They put it in another box. So it was shipped really nice and securely from Amazon. I'll put the link in there from the battery. It's not an OEM battery, but if you look, there's a screw there and there's a screw there I got to take out. I'll just open this to end up taking it out. And there is another screw right up here. So those three screws are going to come out and then the battery should just easily come out and we'll put the new one in. So let's get this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing off so I can just work with the head. And if you have Dysons, you know there's little buttons that you just push and it releases. And since I'm by myself, let me set this down and I'll show you how it's done. So right here's where you press and it just comes off just like that. Get it back on, you'll hear it snap. So I like these, they're very functional. Comes right off. If you look down here, there's another little button, as you can see down there, right down there, that if you just need to take off the head or put a different attachment on, works great. These are really nice, simple vacuums that are easy to use, and hopefully we'll see how easy they are to work on to get this thing replaced. And here we go. Let's get off to the races and get these screws. So we'll put that here. And we're just gonna unscrew. It's coming loose very easily. So hang on. Come on out. Trying to do it where I don't drop it. All right, there we go. I've got that one out. Now let's get these two. I think I'm going to open the door because it looks like limited access. So let's get these. In case you didn't know, to get this thing open, I mean, you just pull this here and the door opens up. It's how you clean it also. So we'll go right here, have this open. And I'll undo the screw. Let's see if I can get this one out without losing. Look at that, got it out without losing it. All right, let's get this one. I mean, these things aren't, thankfully, super tight. Usually when you get stuff that's never been undone, they're so stinking tight, it's crazy. All right, let's see if I can't get this. Ta-da, man. All right, let's see how easy this is to take out. Look at that, just popped right out. So we'll compare this one to the new one and see what it looks like. Like I said, the new one is not an OEM, and we got it for $19 or $21, I think it was $21 on Amazon. So came with the screws, came with the little filter that goes on top to replace this, as well as the cap. So let's see what these two look like together. So here they are together. This is the brand new one. Here's the old one. The old one, it is a 21.6 battery. And this one is also a 21.6 battery. The one difference is, if you look, the milliamp hours on this one is 2,800. In other words, this is how long the charge will last. This one is a 4,500 milliamp hour. So this one will last longer on a charge than this one. So, but I mean, they look perfectly sized, perfectly even. The holes are identical. So let's get this thing in and see if it works. All right. So right there's those little two plugs that are right here by my thumb. That's going to go right here. And it snapped right in. So let's put the screws back in. Now, one thing I do know is you got to charge this battery to full before we can use it. So there's not going to be much, if any, charge on this thing. Okay, well, hot diggity dog. That's going in pretty easy. It's a little, this is a screwdriver that it came with. Not my favorite. I'd probably rather use mine, but I figure we'll just use this one. All right, that's in. So now let's get in these two. So we got this one right here. Stay open for me. All right. And there we go. Nice and snug. Do the same thing. You're never over tighten when you're screwing anything in. Always get it where it's just nice and snug. Don't need a torque wrench here. All right. There we go. That was simple enough. So we'll put that on. And shut that here, shut that there. I guess that's not very dirty at all, but I guess I'll replace it with the new one real quick. Hang on, let me get this out. So here's the new one. Just goes in. It's pretty simple. Like I said, I've ordered a new one of these. One thing I have found on the Dysons is that's your max power, normal power. You use it on max power, it just eats through the battery, and I don't necessarily, using a vacuum like this, I don't think you necessarily need it on max power. I mean, we just use this to crumbs, dust, this stuff, you know, light cleaning on the floor. This is not our main vacuum for the house. This is just something that we use to do quick clean. So we always leave it here on the normal mode, and it works great. So look at it, the new battery does work. So ready to put this thing back together, and I guess I'll put it to charge. That was not too bad at all, guys. This is just a sturdy little vacuum cleaner. Nice handheld. So this is a Dyson V8. I think it's the animal when my wife got it. So, but then we'll put this thing back together. There you go. Like I said, we try to keep this thing pretty clean. So, I mean, if you can keep your bristles clean of debris and stuff, this thing will last a lot longer. But there we go. Not a hard job. First time ever for me to do this. My Ryobi tools are generally pretty easy sometimes, but this was surprisingly simple. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the comments. I'll put the link to the battery that we bought in the description. So if you want to hunt that down, and I'll put the link for this because we're buying some replacements. I mean, you saw how easy it is to take off and take on. Just twist, off, twist, on. Very simple. Like I said, I blew it out with a compressor. And, you know, this one, these are washable. So the one I took out, we'll save it and wash it. And we have a new one in here. So this thing's ready to go as soon as I charge it up. Any questions, ask. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. And you guys have a wonderfully blessed day.